imagine yourself coming in as a patient and having someone operate on your heart. And a lot of times it's that energy which drives that decision making and that decision that patient makes.
I shared with you my stroke story. And so the person who did my procedure, he was my age. He was 35. And he came to see me the week after when I came out of my coma. He had a Hugo Boss shirt on, bandana on, and I couldn't believe that's my doctor. But it made me feel relatable to him.
Saben llegó desde el lunes, Messi ya les quiere.
Look at me, habibi. Dubai Jeep, let's get it. Look at me, habibi. Dubai Jeep, let's get it. Bags, expensive.
Don't touch me.
Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Nah, back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Stroke of Success podcast. It's your favorite host, KB. Today's episode is special, and I'll tell you why in a second. So, gentleman crossed me on, which withholds his name for now. I met him years ago. We was in passing. We never really had a chance to talk and bond until recently. I was invited to his beautiful home for a fundraiser, and then the next day we had a little function we were at. Started hanging out a little bit, and then we had a dinner recently, and that's where we really got to know each other. And the first time I met him, I said, "Hey, I want you to be on my podcast," and he started laughing, started smiling at me, and said, "Whatever, move over." We've been back and forth quite a bit. As you can imagine, this person's super busy. Dr. Usman Siddiqui is here. He's a electrophysiologist here in Orlando, Florida. He's a world-renowned cardiologist, to say the least. He's sold patents. He speaks on stages. I'm actually convincing him to do self-development and share his story across the world. We'll see how we do it. Dr. Usman, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kerry, for inviting me.
Thank you.
I'm glad we finally
did it.
Get to sit across, huh?
Yes, we did. Yes, we do. You know, I can only imagine how much you travel, how much you have going on and everything. So you took the time to do this for me. I know you're tired, and yet we're coming from work. So I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
The reason why I was so drawn to you, you're my second cardiologist, first of all. First one, Dr. Tiffany in Miami, Florida. But the grapevine here in Orlando, Florida, you're talked about quite a bit. Your accomplishments are far up there. But what drew me to you, you have a rock star appearance, man. and most, yeah. I know a lot of doctors. I'm gonna say on the camera, I love all of you. But style and medicine doesn't go hand in hand mostly. So you're probably one of the few that I admire your style, your presence, your swag, and I'm like, you know what? I have to have you on here. So thank you, Dr. Usman, for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Where were you born?
I was born in Karachi.
Okay.
It's the biggest city in Pakistan.
Yes.
Grew up there. My mom is actually a physician.
Okay.
My dad is a physicist and teaches physics. So I was always exposed to medicine,
yes.
And that's how I got into it. And it's been a great journey so far.
Let's go back to your childhood. For me, if I have to assume, someone asked me, "Hey, what do you think Usman Siddiqui was as a little boy running around?" I would think you were a little bit of a troublemaker.
Oh yeah, probably the naughtiest.
Okay.
I'm the youngest of our three siblings, and but really at the same time, still focus driven. Spent a lot of time in sports. The most popular sports growing up for us was cricket.
Yes.
So I played a lot of it. In fact, I had a good chance of getting into at least
pro level,
divisional level and whatnot. But my dad was always on my case to education, and so we pursued that more. And
that's insane.
We grew up in a military family. My mom was actually a lieutenant colonel in Army, so we were always kind of in a more secured environment at all times, and a lot of exposure to medicine and patients and whatnot. So my heart was always there. So and then from jumping forward, going to med school over there, and just then we had options about staying over there or coming into US, and really the peak of all research and latest technology is happening in US. So that was always my goal to get in here. I was probably the first student in our medical school class of 450.
Wow.
To end up coming in US. You have to take your boards, your exams and everything. And ended up in Cleveland Clinic for my residency. And then subsequently got married and had, after marriage, I finished my residency in Midwest and then subsequently moved to Florida and didn't want to get out of there. So been here since, yeah.
Let's go back 1 second. High school. So if someone asked me, hey, describe Usman Siddiqui in high school, I would say that the long hair was probably there, was it?
No, it was more in college. Yeah. High school, I was a little nerdy, I would say.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get those pictures out somewhere. Did you party in Karachi, in Pakistan back then, high school, college?
Yeah. Good bit.
Yes.
Good bit. I didn't attend much of medical school classes either. So we used to do more clinical stuff, and then lectures I wouldn't never get addicted to. No. So I like to study on my own. So whenever the exams are closer, we would just sit down and do group studying and all that. But so the great thing about medical school in Karachi was there's a lot of clinical exposure there. So when you go and see patients, you learn so much. So it's just easier for me that way.
That's not common, man, Usman, to be partying and to be becoming what you are.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest, right? There's levels in medicine, internal medicine, but the entry level, right? Mm. And there's levels on top of that. I mean, you are probably one of the highest levels in there in the medicine. I would think, for me, if I was to take that route, like I would say, I couldn't step out of my house. I'd be locked in a room, hours by hours. Yeah. That wasn't your story?
No, I'm blessed that way. Just happened to be at the right.
It's fast.
Yeah, and then happened to be at the right place at the right time and the right opportunity, and then I mean, there's no shortcut to success. You have to work hard, but you have to work intelligently, and that's what I did. And
do you believe some people have a faster processor?
Yes, 100%.
Right.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, that is true.
Some people can sit down and they'll do the same information and they'll be slower and they'll get to the destination.
Yeah. I think it's about how much of your brain cells are utilizing for that particular project. I'll tell you, for me, remembering things was not difficult. And then technically, because a lot of my work is surgical, for me to learn new procedures takes a little bit. But if I do some, I get very, very quick at it. So it becomes, so once it comes into my automated system, which is the back of the brain, I do it very, very efficiently and very fast. So
why cardiology, not neuroscience or?
Yeah, I think cardiac, if you look at the field of medicine, there are only 2 or 3 fields where you actually give immediate results. And there's a lot of gratification involved. And so cardiology is one of those fields where you can impact a patient's life almost immediately. Yeah. And electrophysiology, which is the subspecialty which deals with electrical issues of the heart, it's just so challenging that every patient who comes in is new and different. If you ever come to my operating room, you'll see it's like 5 different screens it's like sitting in a cockpit and flying a plane. You're looking at 5 screens at the same time. So really fulfills my ADD.
You have ADD?
I don't, but I could undiagnosed or underdiagnosed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
otherwise I'll be bored.
You get bored fast?
Yeah, if it's not fun, yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I've known you for a little bit, I can tell very fast. I saw a video of yours, a bunch of videos. I did some research on you. You had this one patient of yours who they interviewed, and she was in awe. She's like, I don't know, she was having some issues. Forgive me on the details, and she said, like you said, you treated her and it was instant, and she was in awe of you. How did that make you feel?
Yeah, it's actually, that's what drives me on a day-to-day basis, because there's only a certain amount you can push your body and do the work, but that gratification that you get once you see these patients, and it really drives you to go that extra step, get the best outcome. Every day we're dealing with new conditions and the challenges every day in procedures. Like yesterday, I did about 3 or 4 surgeries, and one of them was really complicated. But, thriving for that best outcome, which gets you, going and give that extra 200%. I think that, and then when they come back and they feel great, it's really makes it worth the effort.
Your typical day, what's your typical routine?
Yeah, I start early. So I'll always start with some degree of meditation in the morning, and then I try to get a workout in for, even if it's for 15, 20 minutes, I just want to get the metabolism up. And then some days it's my duty to drop the kids off to school, so I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, work.
Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 days a week, I am operating. Other days I'm in office. Some days I'm traveling for meetings or proctoring or teaching or
speaking on stage.
Speaking on stages and conferences. And also we work a lot in cadaver and models to develop new technology. So that takes a little bit of the time. So it's well balanced out throughout the year. And then try to be, later on the home, I try to get another workout in towards the evening, which is a little bit longer. So just to tone down a little bit.
Sure.
And then the intention is to keep the blood flowing and disconnect from the rest of the day. So,
what was one of the most intense cases you had?
Intense? There's so many.
Top of your mind.
For us, I think the sickest patients that we see are the ones who are having dangerous rhythm problems from the bottom chamber of the heart, which is known as cardiac arrest. Yeah. There are several cases like this where they're almost having refractory cardiac arrest, where they need to be shocked every minute or so. So typically we have to go inside and put some sort of support to support their heart, and then we create like a map of the heart to identify those channels which is causing the heart to go crazy and fast, and then we apply heat energy to those. So I've done several of those. One of them I actually remember several years ago. We had to open the lab on a Sunday, and the team came in, and which is rather unusual for us to do this on a weekend, these kind of complex cases. And we were there till 1 a.m. doing this. So quite a few of these.
I mean, I see we've enjoyed parties together. You're like me, you like to be in the center and having fun. Whenever I saw you, you're always happy. Happy-go-lucky. And the other day we had a nice dinner side by side, and you share a lot of gratitude.
Yeah,
a lot of gratitude on different little things that I have observed closely. Have you always been like this, like gratitude?
Yeah, I think because I'm seeing so much pain around us on a day-to-day basis. People that are going through. If you don't appreciate what you have. I think it's just unfair. So I think a lot of what drives us these days especially is just looking at other people and envying them. But I think if you just look around the pain that there is and suffering there is, and then appreciate what you have, I think you
It's better.
Much
It
better.
centers you.
Happening. Yeah.
Are you familiar, Dr. Siddiqui, with the phrase law of attraction? What you think about, you bring about. You believe it?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us carry energy around us, and that energy interaction has to happen. I see that on a daily basis with patients too. I mean, the way I am with my hair tied and like this, I go in and see a patient. Often I'm not wearing any suit and I'm in scrubs or maybe sometimes even jeans, and patients see it because I speak to them from my heart, and I'm very honest with them about what I'm able to do and when I'm not able to do. And imagine yourself coming in as a patient and having someone operate on your heart, and a lot of times it's that energy which drives that decision making and that decision that patient makes to undergo that surgery.
I shared my story with you, my stroke story, and so the person who did my procedure, he was my age. He was 35, and he came to see me the week after when I came out of my coma. He had a Hugo Boss shirt on and a bandana on, and I couldn't believe that's my doctor. But it made me feel relatable to him.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when we think of doctor, we see glasses, we see, short
nerdy
hair.
Look, yeah.
Yes. Do you ever get stereotyped? Like, yo, man, like, dude, are you sure like you're a doctor at that level? You have long hair, jeans
almost,
on?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Happens often.
And I actually push this to the limit. So I actually
Talk about it.
push this to the limit that, I refuse to dress up as people expect you to dress up. I want to dress up what I'm comfortable with and what I want to wear that particular day.
Expressing your personality.
Yeah, whether it's a suit that I'm feeling like wearing today because I had to go somewhere, or whether it's scrubs, or whether it's a jeans.
And a blazer.
Whatever
it may be.
Whatever it is. Tie or no tie, but, that should not drive your communication.
Perspective on you, less or better.
Yeah. But what drives is the way you talk, the way you present, the way you feel them, make them feel comfortable about what their disease is and what your understanding of their disease is and how you could manage. So yes, there are a few who would, but it's very, very rare.
That's rare.
Yeah.
I remember we came to your house for this fundraiser, and I'm like to my wife, I'm like, what should I wear? She's like, you should wear a suit, and I'm like, I don't think this gentleman Usman wears a suit. So I got there. It's a complete opposite. He had jeans, t-shirt, and a nice motorcycle jacket. And it was like, I'm like, see, I told you, honey, I told you. And I'm like, wow, this guy is different. And we had a lot of religious people. We had doctors, physicians from your field. Right. It was a mixed breed.
Yeah.
You meet, looking at you, you would think you only meet a certain type of person. You meet all different type of people. You interact with all different type of people, socially, in your house and functions. What's that about, man? Why are you so open? You're curious. You're not stuck up in that sense.
Yeah, I'm not stuck up. I don't judge, and I don't care if someone judges me. I go for the energy of the other person. If someone has a warm heart and wants to meet you and spend time with you and connect with you, regardless of whatever race, religion, or beliefs, I think that there's an opportunity there. So, yeah, you want to look at inside of a person and
not the watch, not the car.
Yeah, all of that you look at, but inside the soul
is what matters.
Yeah, you want to deep in, and you'll find some beauty out there.
Really?
Yeah, in that soul.
The more you look in it from a sincere place.
Yeah.
I came to your house, man. Beautiful house. Beautiful house. I mean, I was thinking about doing the podcast studio over there at your house. Maybe part 2 we would do in the back. Your car collection is known for. People talk about your car collection, right?
Yeah.
And it's changing quite often.
Yeah.
Are you always been into cars, or?
Yeah, it's a familial thing. My dad would just spend half of his day under the car hood, fixing engines, building new cars, and My uncles are like that. So I think it's a familial trait. But yeah, I do take cars on the track. I love racing. I love driving.
I saw that.
So yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's and then the engineering aspect of it is, I think, what
you enjoy
so
more.
much fun. Yeah.
What's your hobbies for you? Like, do you like collecting watches? Are you a watch guy? Are you a suit guy? We know you love cars. A shoes guy. I like shoes. I like sneakers. I like boots. That's my thing. I like watches. How about you?
I would say all of the above.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoy these things, nice things in life, and I appreciate them. But by far, the biggest hobby would be cars and driving and traveling.
Yeah, you travel quite a bit.
Quite a bit. Yeah, that's I love awesome. That. Yeah.
Man, I think I covered most of my questions that I had for you. If someone who is looking to enter your world of medicine right now, 20-year-old audience member of mine, what advice would you give him or her?
Yeah. In this field, number one, you need to enjoy it. So you really have to have a passion for it. Otherwise, you're going to run dry. It can get exhausting. But if you enjoy it, then there's nothing better than this. Two is that my particular field, there's a lot of development happening. So you can actually advance the field by developing newer technology, getting involved in that. And, that way you can help humanity in that way too. So a lot of fun stuff. I mean, of course, there's no shortcut to success. You got to work hard.
Sure. Smart, like you said, work smart.
Yeah, but make sure you enjoy it.
Sure.
Yeah, if you can't connect with it, if it feels like work to you, then you probably should not be. You'll be
burned out.
Yeah.
Did you do it for the money in the beginning, young 20-year-old Usman in America?
I did it as. When I started, growing up in Karachi, we really didn't have too many options, right? I mean, it's either business school or medical school or engineering.
Law is not a big deal.
Not as much, yeah. No. And I found all of the above so boring.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have done physics. I loved physics. I think, but the medicine field that I chose has a lot of physics in it. It's electrophysiology, right? So I get that passion out of it. But nothing in science is more delightful than actually physics, right? I mean, the laws of nature, and then you can understand nature in it, and the amount of energy that a small atom can carry is just unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I mean, all of this at the end of the day connects you to your own self and your own soul and the energy inside you. And
I follow you on social media, and many times you'll wake up in the morning and sunrise, and you'll make a picture. You take a picture of the beautiful sunrise from your house. You appreciate the most natural things.
Yeah.
That now explains me why. I had a question that I left my mind. Let me quickly jump on it. Okay, so is someone? So yeah, you have another side to you. The entrepreneurial side. We'll touch on that, then we'll wrap it up. You had a patent you sold. That's what I heard from the grapevine. Yeah. Talk about that a little bit if you want.
Yeah, it's something really, really simple concept. It's the way we handle a catheter. Catheter is kind of a tube where we put inside a patient's body, and it's just holding it in a smart fashion. It's called Stabilize. It's for an ultrasound catheter which works inside, and something really simple, but I've worked with the engineering department locally over here and helped develop that. And then a company was interested in it. So it was sold, we distributed it, and still getting distributed. So
good for you, man.
Yeah. But then in addition to that, there's several other new companies which are coming on now where I'm on the medical advisory board, and, the patent specifically is not mine, but we help develop those technologies and hopefully can impact humanity with.
That's amazing, man.
It's the beauty is in the simplicity. I mean, the the simple you can make all these procedures, the better the outcomes. Yeah.
Wow. We talked about some business ventures. You dabble in some ventures outside of business, entrepreneurship. So you're really well-rounded, I would say.
Try to be. It's a struggle, constant struggle. I mean, it's a balance, right? We're trying to balance, and sometimes in the balance, you're unfair to some things and you're more fair to others. And isn't that life?
That's life.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Most physicians, my wife is a physician, and I'm very lucky that she has a knack for business. She enjoys it. And we have a business we opened recently, Noor Metwa. But most physicians are not the best with finance or business.
That's true. Very true. And I don't consider myself as really smart in that aspect. But, that's something which is not taught to us in med school.
It's not. It should be.
It should be. Yeah.
It should be.
And then I don't come from a family of businessmen. So that also impacts.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think that's something which is an acquired trait.
Sure.
And we're working on that. Constant work in progress. Avoid making wrong decisions and make the right decisions. And
have you made some wrong decisions in business? Some failure in business?
Yeah, of course, everybody does, right? So, yeah. Sometimes you get pulled into things where your friends ask you to put in, and you don't do enough research, and it's okay.
Part of life.
Part of life.
I take life very at a nice pace, man.
Yeah, it's gonna come at you, right? So why put unnecessary stress at you?
What's the longest day you worked? How many hours?
All right. So when I moved to US in Cleveland Clinic, those days there were no rules for interns. So now there are rules that you can only you can do 80 hours per week. There were no rules. So and at the clinic in Cleveland, we used to get train wrecks, like patients who have failed therapies everywhere. So those days, because I just moved, I didn't have a car. I used to bike to work. Bike meaning bicycle. So this is middle of winter, and so I bike at 5 a.m, and that day I was on call and we got slammed. So I had like 15 new admits, and all of them new admissions, and then 10 old. So I had total 25 patients as an intern, which was a lot. So I remember that day, actually. I don't remember a lot of things, but that day I remember.
It comes back.
Yeah, so I started at 5:30 in the morning, and then I finished at 7 p.m. the next day.
What?
Yeah. And then I had to bike back home in snow. So it was pretty cool. But since then, the rules have changed and stuff. But that makes you a man,
Yes, it does. Do you think the generation now is getting soft?
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able. Right? I don't think they'll be able to handle that. We have residents training with us. We're so nice to them.
Right, proper.
Yeah, we protect them actually.
Yes,
it wasn't the case.
Not back then. No. Also, you're an immigrant, so you have immigrant mindset from Pakistan.
True. Yeah, I think that
adds to it.
That adds to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you see yourself, the life you're living now? Like, I go back to law of attraction. When I was in my bed after my stroke, I had visualized my current life, podcast, business owner, all the projects I'm part of, the people I'm talking to, people I'm becoming friends with. That was in my mind. I speak on stages now, share my story. For you, when you were in snow or rain going to the hospital, do you ever visualize one day you'll drive a Porsche, you'll be on a stage, you're traveling the world? Well, that was not a thing for you.
Nah.
No, nothing.
Yeah. I always lived in the present.
Ah.
I still do. Yeah. I don't think that far ahead. But I mean, the only things I think is at times maybe I'll slow down and travel a little bit more, but nothing crazy like that. So I try to enjoy and live in the present, and enjoy it there and then. So if I feel like I want to drive a Ferrari, I'll go and
get a Ferrari.
Get for it. Or if I couldn't afford it, then I'll think about getting it and work towards it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have like, I don't try to keep
these goals out there, and you don't have to. Okay, you got a Ferrari, right?
Yeah, several
Lamborghinis too.
Yeah.
What's your favorite car? Before I let you go, what's your favorite car?
Porsche and Ferrari. Yeah.
Not Lamborghini?
No.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
But it's a little unfair because the new Lamborghinis are really good. Yeah. But I think the skill, the drive passion it shows in a Ferrari and a Porsche. Porsche too, actually.
Porsche.
They're very good.
You have a new Porsche, I saw.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So.
It's awesome.
Felt like that, so.
Yeah. He's got it.
Yeah.
Wow. Dr. Usman Siddiqui, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you jumping.
Thank you so much.
Oh man, of course. I like I said, man, I like we have a lot of doctors or Central Florida, a lot. You can take a rock and hit one. But there's not many that have the rock star swag. And I'm very drawn to that. So I really appreciate you coming on here. You're a busy man. Thank you. Where can my audience find you on social media?
Yeah, on Instagram, and there are LinkedIn.
Beautiful.
Those are things. In fact, today we had a very special day because this is a company-sponsored event. There was this national sales meeting this morning, and they wanted to look at patient outcomes and bring in. So one of my patients actually came in and was on the stage, and they did a patient interview, and then they invited me over as well. And so that's really gratifying too.
I saw that. I saw that picture. That's awesome. Yeah, like I said to you at dinner, I think you should have a program to speak. I think you should do self-development outside of medicine. I think there's a lot to share with the audience. I'm gonna give some feedback on that one day. We'll have a lunch.
Yeah.
I see you doing
that.
That'd
be
nice. But thank you, Usman Siddiqui, for coming on today. Appreciate you very much. We'll do a part 2 soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.